Hi, guys. Welcome to another edition of the NOAA newsletter. We hope you've had a good start to the week and we hope you enjoyed the video we brought you last week explaining the Wirecard saga. This week's video will take a slightly different format. We will walk through some of the key talking points on the news front that the editorial team at NOAA came across. So, to kick things off, as we get closer to the US presidential elections, it's no surprises that it'll be a dominant theme in the headlines. A couple of key talking points from last week in that regard were as the wildfires continue to rage on the west coast of the United States, people were looking towards Trump to see what kind of response would come from him, but also we're looking at Biden in terms of his response and potential solutions he would offer. A second really interesting development was a scientific journal called the American Scientific, for the first time in its 100 plus year history, came out and supported one of the presidential candidates. Historically, it has taken a really neutral position and never backed a candidate. So when it decided to back Biden this time, it was definitely a newsworthy item. In terms of politics outside of the US, Brexit negotiations continue between the UK and EU. But the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he's getting an increasing amount of flack in terms of his response to the situation from both within and outside his party. So that's something to really keep your eye out on. The second talking point on the international front was on the 14th of September, Japan elected a successor to Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister who stepped down for health reasons. Yoshihide Suga, who will be replacing him, he's somewhat of an enigma. So if you're looking to learn more about him, we have a series live on the app on the topic. On the business front, last week was the first week of what is expected to be a wave of IPOs, mainly in the US, mainly in the technology sector. One such business, which is backed by Warren Buffett, is Snowflake. That saw a significant increase in its valuation after it listed last week, on the back of which there were more headlines. So, look, this is a super interesting situation because you're going to see the likes of Airbnb's brands that you're aware of, or Palantir, another secretive technology business that you may not have heard of. They're looking to IPO in the coming weeks. Nvidia also reached an agreement to acquire ARM from SoftBank. This is interesting because experts claim that it has the potential to really rewrite the current landscape of the semiconductor industry. This is a series we have in the pipeline, so stay tuned. We also saw Oracle being announced as the winner of the auction for the TikTok business. We haven't seen any confirmation on what the final structure of the deal will look like, so keep an eye out there. That should come in the next couple of days to weeks. And finally, a couple of weeks back, Nikola, which is an electric vehicle manufacturer, reached a massive $2 billion deal with General Motors. On the back of that deal, short sellers came out with allegations about the founder of the Nikola business and ways in which Nikola had misled investors and partners. So last week saw the company go back and forth on these claims. On Sunday, actually, the founder stepped down from his role as the chairman of the board. So that's a situation that keeps developing. We'll potentially have another series there to the extent the situation gets more headlines. So keep an eye out there. In terms of social affairs, Netflix has come out with a controversial film called Cuties in English. It's originally produced in French. That has divided opinion because of the sensitive nature of the topic. That's another one that we do have a series live on in the app. Really interesting one. Check it out. And then finally, last week was the 50th anniversary of this essay published by Milton Friedman in the New York Times. The essay, some say, has defined capitalism over the last 50 years. And given the range of social issues that we're battling right now, it was a good catalyst for us to just take stock in terms of kind of our economic viewpoint of the world. Look, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. We're trialing this video content and learning as we go. So if you have any thoughts and feedback, we'd really, really appreciate it.